Hello and welcome to the Creator's Garden. I am called Harpy, and today is going to be a fairly, I would say it's a relaxed stream, but honestly, all streams are relaxed streams. Though I will say it's going to be a little bit less structured today in particular, because usually when I do these streams, there is an end goal in mind. Usually there is a project that I'm looking to complete or just continue making some progress on. But I think today is going to just be a general let creativity flow sort of day. And anyone who stops by, whether you're in chat or just watching the VOD later on, just free to hang out and relax and, just hopefully enjoy the creative atmosphere, Also, I will apologize in advance. I seem to be having some minor audio issues. The Borbs are a little loud, so I tried messing with the mic gain. But hopefully that won't be too much of an issue. And even if it is, that hopefully it can be fixed in the meantime at some point when I have more information. But goodness. But yeah, I will probably have proper introductions as to who I am later on in the stream. But until then, let's get to some creativity, shall we? So, as you can see, I have a nice sketchbook here, and this is where I tend to keep notes on some world building aspects. So for those who don't know, I watch over a world called Sanctus, and there are a lot of mystical things involved in its world, including the plants and various types of animals, and even the peoples that live there. So as you can see, a lot of these have to deal with the more fantastical continents, but some of these are also in other continents that have yet to be, well, how should I put it, well explored. But, perhaps we might get to see those one day. I've only just started documenting some of the larger fauna. And I even made a couple notes on some of the peoples. But I think right now I do want to look into making some interesting minerals that might be in Sanctus. Like, you have your standard ores and your gems and crystals, your diamonds, your rubies, your gold and silver, all those run-of-the-mill things. Like, there is gold in Sanctus, for instance. They usually come from fallen dragon scales, and that's how you get their currency, which is doubloons. And of course, to pay homage to their origins, they have a dragon head and dragon tail on either side. I would say this smaller one might be a little bit closer in scale rather than this one. But I do like to keep this one just because I like how the dragon head looks on this one. This one is sort of a ruby. It's a magically made ruby. You'll probably find out more about these later. And I'm still not sure what to do about these. Like, I want these, but I'm not quite sure what to do with these yet. But anyways, there are other, like, more mystical, magical gems out there, and I thought I'd go ahead and draw some of those. Although, first of all, I think I need to go find my pencil first, because I think I want to sketch out a couple more shapes before I get into inking and coloring. I know I've seen some blocky shapes before, so perhaps those could be good. And then maybe I'll do some ones that kind of like look like icicles. Yes, I hope you're all having a decent day today. I know things can get fairly hectic, but I think being creative together, doing art things together, helps build a sense of community, you know? I mean, I know that works out for me because even though I have the borbs around, sometimes it does get a little... I suppose it does get a little lonely here in the creator's garden sometimes. But that's not going to stop me from creating. Alright. I think I have enough sketches to get started. I will grab some pens and then see what I can come up with. Here we are. A whole assortment. You can basically do any color you want, more or less. I'm thinking I'll probably work on like the base rocks first, since they're all like jetting out of the ground and such, so that'll probably help like set the tone as to where these rocks and stones and gems are usually found. For instance, this one up here is supposed to be a geode of sorts, although admittedly I have never really drawn a geode before, so there's that. I generally know how to do rock shapes, essentially. I mean, I had to do it plenty for one story I recorded. But in any case, oh, let's move this down here a bit. Because I want you guys to be able to see. So I'm thinking this sort of hill-shaped one over here kind of looks maybe like a termite mound or an anthill, like from far away, but upon closer inspection, it's actually like a node for these smaller crystals. Still don't know what they do or what they look like quite yet, but we'll get there. But this one over here, these are definitely going to be some coral type crystals right here. They're going to be underwater. I'm thinking maybe calling them coral stone. And I think also a nickname for them could be Loon's Hands, because Loon, the Moon Fae, is very much associated with things in the water as well. Let's see, actually, put that right there, and then these are just little strands of like kelp and such to kind of set the scene. There we are. And I think I'll ask Feather King to bring me some boba really quick. Hopefully it all works out. Feather King is one of my borbs. Oh, there he is. Thank you, Feather King. What do I want to color the other ones? I think for the icicle ones I will stick with blue. Some dark blues and light blues. Because I'm thinking that they can be found in Arctic areas or areas with a lot of ice and snow. You know, probably in like just on the outskirts of caves, and they blend in seamlessly with like other icicles and such, so they can be a little bit hard to spot. Okay. And grab this light blue. What are these crystals made of? I am not sure yet. But I'm sure the geologists of Sanctus will be quick to find out eventually. Missing a couple colors. Could have sworn I had a dark purple. Where did I put that? There we are. Found it. Sometimes I think the borbs are stealing my art supplies to build their nests. It's getting a little bit harder and harder to find them sometimes. But the borbs keep life on the Creator's Garden interesting. I feel like with geodes, it's all going to come down to how I color it. Because for the time being, it is just going to look a bit like a mess. I think we're slowly getting somewhere. Maybe these. Out there, like that. And maybe browns and yellows for this one, actually. That could be a good combination. I'm putting it together. It's slowly coming together. liking how these formations are coming along. Because it can really help make a world feel more alive when there's more to it, you know? Because sometimes when you think of these little things, then you go, oh, what are their uses? What are their properties? How are they used in the everyday lives of the people who live in your world, you know? Of course, that's not always necessary when building a world for story purposes or otherwise. But, you know, it is something enjoyable. It's something fun. And I do just... Oh, hello. Alfie, welcome, and thank you for the Headpat. That's really funny. I heard the Headpat before I saw the command in chat. But how are you? I hope you're doing well. Though I will say, Alfie, just so you know, when I'm basically streaming like this, I would like to be known as Harpy. Harpy, Borb Princess, that sort of thing. Because we are in the Creator's Garden, and I do have my own lore. You're welcome, you're doing fantastic, that's awesome. I love to hear it. And once again, I hope that coming here to the stream is a nice and relaxing experience. Though, now that you're here, I think I will take a short minute to talk about what I mean when I say that... Oh. When I say that I am a being with their own lore. Oh, whoops. Yeah, that'll do. So basically, I guess I just wanted to do like a rough reintroduction. You do not mind that. Harpy is a sweet name you will use. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. But yes, as you can see from this picture, this is essentially like what my environment is. It is a garden off in the distance and looking out at Sanctus as if it were like a moon. And generally speaking, like I do have a building indoors where I sleep and, you know, do normal humanoid things. But I am a creator, the last of their species. And I guess I do have like a list of likes and dislikes for people who like want to get to know me a little bit and like just know in general what Harpy is all about. Oh goodness. Can you tell I'm not so good at public speaking? I've just been alone on this little world for so long. But despite that, I do have mirrors into other worlds, and I'm able to access some of the things that other worlds do, such as video games, including the Monster Hunter series. Like, there may be problems, but I do enjoy, like, peering into those worlds and seeing what they're about. That is part of my likes. I also like a few different aesthetics. You can probably tell by the way that I live in a garden that I'm very much into cottagecore. You love the idea of the lore? Make a movie? Perhaps one day when I have the time, I could make like a little introductory video. I probably should do that. It does take a lot of time and effort though on my part, so it'll get there eventually. But until then, I guess this will have to do. But yes, cottagecore, and if you look at my like current sleepy time outfit, I do love pastels. They're just really nice and easy on the eyes, and it just makes me happy, you know? That being said, I do like lightly spooky, creepy things. Just enough to add a little bit of intrigue, a little bit of, ooh, what's that? So, I guess mascot horror, in some sense, can fall into that. Creepypastas could also fall into that. Like, you can see the way, like, how I look. It's a little bit reminiscent of a winged plague doctor, I suppose. But it's how I like it. I also enjoy cottagecore, just prefer being surrounded by nature in a quiet place rather than a loud city. Yeah, I think I could agree with that. Although, perhaps not too quiet, you know? Like, don't get me wrong, I also love my peace and quiet, but... yeah. And I'll go ahead and move that back. And I think it's really easy to tell that my favorite animals are birds. So, you know, parrots, corvids, just little like sweet songbirds, all types of birds. And I actually do enjoy looking at like tabletop RPG type things. I've even looked into like some solo tabletop RPGs, which are essentially just like idea generators. You're given a table and you just roll some dice and see what comes out. And I think those are really fun. I do enjoy those a lot. Sometimes you can get some very interesting results with those. And the super obvious ones. Love drawing, and I love my milk tea. It's my favorite drink, my favorite snack, my favorite dessert. Whichever you would like to call it, I love it. And then there are a few dislikes that are not as obvious because they don't come up as often. But I'm not fond of bugs, not fond of the dark. Don't like demons for lore reasons. And just like there is no war in Ba Sing Se, there is no Monster Hunter live action movie. If you know, you know. And I suppose the last little bit of lore bits that I will mention is that even though I haven't done it yet, I am technically a shapeshifter. What kind of shapes can I shift into? Maybe you'll find out. And for the sake of transparency, when it calls for in chat, if I need to answer questions that I reasonably could not answer, sometimes I will break the fourth wall. My apologies to the fourth wall repairman. He knows who he is. Your father and I love birds. Always give them enough food to survive harsh winters. Aw, that's really sweet of you. That'll keep them nice and warm for the winter, I'm sure. You hate the dark too? Cannot sit in a dark room without a light or a sound. Yeah, the dark can be very unsettling. Like, as much as I can enjoy a little bit of creepiness, a little bit of uncertainty, you know, just it's like spice, you know? It's okay to have a little bit, but if you just go overboard with it, then it's too much. It's too much, and I will not enjoy myself. But that's enough of me rambling. Whoops. That is the wrong scene. But yes, as demonstrated right there, I am still fairly new to this whole streaming idea, but it is a nice way for me to interact with the lovely people out there in the other universes. It's like I can't really go there myself, but this is a nice way to keep in contact, I feel. But yes, I hope that the volume levels are alright. I've been messing around with my microphone a little bit. So if I'm too quiet if anything's too quiet, you know, feel free to let me know. I did turn my mic gain down a little bit just because there have been some grumblings coming from my technology, and I don't think that's very relaxing to hear. The volume is perfect? Awesome. Oh! Oh goodness. Speaking of technology, I had it on Top Chat again. So my apologies, Kamada-kun. Welcome, welcome. I don't know why YouTube likes to do that. Just like leave it on Top Chat as a default. Let me just catch up on your messages really quick. Real world building is always fun. Love adding unnecessary things sometimes though. I mean, I feel like that's just like the side effect of world building. You're going to end up making things that aren't necessary or are just not relevant to the stories you're making. But, you know, sometimes it's just there, you know, to help make the world feel alive in your own head. And, you know, just don't think of it as like wasted time or anything if you end up enjoying making little things for your world. Just think of it as more investment into your own engagement so you can feel the creative juices flowing. Also, if you want to activate the Borbs, they are under various emotions. So Feather King is one. Just on his own is just the name Feather King. But for the emotions, there's borbhappy, borblove, borbyay, borbbangy, and borbomg. I believe those are the ones that are currently active. Yep, there's Feather King. And you love the city, but the forest is nice for a little while. Yeah, if you're someone who's used to the city, being in the forest is it is quite the departure. And love bird watching, but more of a fish guy. I can tell. But that's perfect since, you know, we do have the little fishing mini game over in the corner. No demons, what if I am? I'm going to say that if you are a demon, it is possible for me to warm up to you if you're nice. And you have proven you're nice, so... I can make an exception for you. You are special. But also, what type of demon are you? Because that also has a that is also a huge factor. Because technically, when I say demons, they are a particular group of demons that I dislike, again, for lore reasons. Although the long story short of it is that the demons are the reason that I'm the last of the creators. And I just saw your hydrate, so thank you for the hydrate. A succubi that doesn't do its job. You love eating. You know what? I'll take that. I'll take that. But also, just to be clear, is the succubi named Kamada, or... or do they go by another name? And hello, Nero. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're doing good today. I am doing well, thank you. We were just having a little bit of a chat moment because I just dumped some Harpy lore for I am Harpy, and would like to make it clear that while streaming, I am Harpy. You have two sons. One's Kamada and one's Ida. Ah. But then what does that make you? Kamada is fish enka guy and Ida is the succubi pop guy. Ah. That's good, just hanging out here since I saw you streaming. Got hit by a second wind after work. Aww. Well, again, thank you so much for stopping by. Oh, is Sonas the name of the succubus? Also, I'm thinking that these gems are going to have to be green because that is the color that I have not used yet. Oh, Sona, not... I have two sides to an succubi. Oh my goodness. Your lore is very fascinating, but also very... I don't know. A little hard to wrap my head around just a teensy bit. But don't worry about it. I'm sure we will get to learn more about you eventually. Assuming you're alright with that, of course. And that goes for anyone else who wants to share their OCs or their Sonas. You know, feel free to introduce yourselves. I always love meeting new beings. So fascinating. All right. I think we have some nice solid base colors for the line art all squared away. Oops. I had a tiny little eraser. Where did I put it? I thought I put it up here. But perhaps not. Alright. Well, plan B. I'll just go ahead and grab another eraser. You'll be working on those guys? Sounds good. Also might have done something stupid and bought a weird coffee creamer flavor on my way out from work. Oh. What sort of coffee creamer flavor? I don't usually partake in coffee myself. I'm more of a tea person, but you know, I do like the smell of coffee. The taste, not so much. This is not one of my best erasers, but it'll have to do. Raspberry champagne and, which sounds good, sweet and spicy. Sweet and spicy is the one you're considering the regrettable action, I see. And hello, welcome, welcome. Nice to meet you, Astro. My name is Harpy. Welcome to the Creator's Garden. And we're just doing a little bit of world building. Mostly in creating some various magical minerals. We just finished the line art. And we're just erasing the sketch layer. But I hope you're doing well. We do have a little fishing game if you don't feel like chatting. It's just exclamation fish. But otherwise, you know, feel free to tell me like what sort of art you do, or you know, just generally how your day has been. I think we are almost done with this sketch layer. Let's see. Is this about as good as it's gonna get? I think so. And that's okay, because we're gonna color it. And then we're going to cut it out and then put it onto the different pages. You know how some spicy stuff has Stuff has a lingering heat to it. That's what the sweet and spicy does. It's pretty mild, and it's definitely sweeter for spicy later. Interesting. I mean, I can kind of tell it's sweet and spicy, like how that could possibly work for a coffee creamer. Raspberry champagne, I'm having a harder trouble imagining. Like the raspberry part I get, it's the champagne part that I'm not quite sure on. But then again, you know, I'm not really one to partake in spirits either. So that's just two things I don't do: coffee and spirits. Now, in terms of world building, like, as you can see, I don't do the crystals by themselves. I also like put them in the environment where I think they would be like naturally found growing. And like this one looks like icicles, so it would be found in like super cold, snowy climates. This one's going to be like a desert type. This one's underwater. And this one's kind of like supposed to mimic like a termite mound or an anthill. But I'm thinking these three in particular will have ties to the Fey princesses that are essentially known as goddesses within the world of Sanctus. So they'll probably definitely have some like more mystical qualities attached to them. People would like seek them out more often than not for like good luck and, you know, good health and that sort of thing. I'll get back to you in a week. That's usually how long it takes to finish a quart of coffee creamer. And hello, Ferox. Thank you for lurking. I hope you enjoy the calm vibes, and hopefully the audio levels are alright. I did mess with the microphone gain a little bit, but yeah. I can only hope things are alright. And that goes for everyone else, whether you're in chat or watching the VOD later. I hope you're having a good and calm time here. Because today is just a day to see where the winds of creativity take us. Alright, let's see. What do I want to color first? Decisions. Well, I do have some nice purples here already, so I guess that's a good start. And then maybe also this. And maybe the light blue. maybe a tinge of this antique fuchsia. And we'll try this red-gray too. Vaguely putting some inside for some backgrounds just in case. I'm dotting a little bit of the antique fuchsia in a couple places. And I'm going to do the same with the pale hibiscus. Then thinking just sparingly try to fit some of these darker ones within the crevices. There will be an attempt. Thinking maybe just a little bit peering out into the rock surfaces, just a little bit. Maybe small tinges of blue. And then we'll see how the neutral gray looks. Very interesting. I guess we do have the colors right here for the desert one. my paler yellow. I'm liking how that's looking. Don't think it's much of a surprise. I like my drinks of all kinds, as long as they don't have pineapple. Yeah. Pineapple is another one of those that, like, I would enjoy the taste of it, but I don't think pineapples like me all that much. see. I feel like this is the type of picture that I'll need to go back and do some white gel pen work on. Let's see. That's about right. You're allergic, lose all sense of feeling in your tongue. Oh. Yeah, I hate that. I'm sorry, pineapple's mean to you too. And I need to go grab another pink, which luckily I have plenty. Just color these in here. Then we'll grab this one. Looking a little more peachy than I thought. It's okay. Just gonna grab a little bit of this. And a little bit of pastel peach. Yeah, that works out. Actually, can I be bold and do a little bit of, yeah, just really sparse. Just try not to go overboard with it. And hello, Kenneth. Welcome, welcome. Glad you can make it. So you missed the part where I basically said, while I'm streaming, I'm called Harpy, and I'm going to basically stay in character. Long story short, this is the Creator's Garden. That is where I am. I'm talking to all of you through dimensions, that sort of thing. But also, in cases where I really need to, I will, like, sometimes break the fourth wall if need be, so, my apologies to the fourth wall repairman in advance. And hello to you too. So today we're just documenting some of the things that can be found in Sanctus, since, you know, that's my self bestowed job that I've given myself since I created it. And we're just making some entries for all these different magical minerals that can be found in Sanctus. Rip that guy. So far, we've been making some interesting strides in coloring these. Trying to make sure that the environments that they're naturally found in are, you know, mostly displayed within these pictures. Still not completely sure where this geode of purple crystals is found, other than underground, most likely. Novel concept, I know. But these other crystals are definitely found in more interesting areas. We've got some icicle-looking crystals that would blend in a snowy, cold environment. We've got these underwater coral crystals, and then these ones are found out in the desert. This one's probably found in like volcanic or other cave-like areas, and then these ones are meant to like mimic termite mounds or anthills, but if you look closer, then you'll see like the gems embedded inside. Was contemplating where he'd go, to be honest. Maybe a setting regarding in the scratch paper where drafts and scrapped characters end up. Don't know. Problem is the fourth wall repairman's inherently meta in a way you're unsure you can do. You dig the nature you're displaying. Was that a pun? Dig the nature. Because we're dealing with rocks. On a fictional island off the coast of Australia where mad scientists make PS1 protagonists? Oh goodness. That's where purple crystals are found in my experience. I see. Mimicry of insect colonies, yeah. I'm still not sure why that is, but I thought that was cool. Let's see. Oops. I didn't overfill that, did I? Nope. Okay. Actually, these could be the right colors for the crystals. Imagine some very rich bugs, though. Oh, you mean like the queen bee? And her daughters? Yes. There are probably some insect folk that probably do covet these types of gems. Oh, there's that piece of eraser I was looking for. Goodness. Sometimes I swear the borbs are, like, stealing my art supplies for their nests. Just 'cause they're stick-like. I don't know why they do this. I didn't make that with them and with that in mind, but there you have it. And And how are Brutal and Plet, by the way? Still in the midst of documenting their adventures? Speaking of those two, would you say that either of them are, like, drawn to treasure hunting, gems, that sort of thing? The red ones are mine. Oh, red ones. You mean like these ones? I'm not sure if you'd want these ones, actually. Well, you might, you know. Would the Borbs try to eat any of the art supplies? Oh. These are like little round bits of eraser. These are dangerous for them because they look like berries and they think they can eat them. So that's why I try to keep an eye on these ones, especially. But other than that, usually the art supplies don't look like anything edible, so they don't try to eat them. Again, it's just mostly the whole sticks for the nest thing. Been in the tower for over a year now, but friendship happens. Brutal is in it for the adventure and glory for now. Plet secretly doesn't even want to be a wizard, but feels obligated. He'd much rather have something more ordinary right now. That's fair. You know, being an adventurer isn't always what it's cracked out to be, you know? There's a lot of danger involved, and not everyone, you know, wants that. Prettier sticks for prettier nests, essentially. I guess that's what they think, because it's like, oh, they're colored pretty colors. Those would be great for decorating my nest. And I'm like, no! Borbs, I need those! But yes, it seems that... Oh, no. I still need to do a little bit of a background for the other one. Let's try this. Happy people don't go on adventures. Food for thought. I admit I find myself writing odd friendships more often than not. Wonder if it means anything. Well, I'm not sure about that, but sometimes, you know, there can be an overabundance of other relationships, and perhaps, friendships are just that much more intriguing as a result. And perhaps, with the specific theme of unlikely duos or unlikely friends, it's like it kind of gives the message of friendship and connection can be found in just about anywhere. And I like that message too. Because I'd like to think that I can make all sorts of connections. Even with succubi, apparently. It's like I don't even particularly like demons for lore reasons, but meet a nice enough demon, I'm willing to, set prejudices aside. Adventures are for many people, including thrill junkies, down on their luck folks, or people who feel obligated because of family or whatever. True, that's usually how it goes. My fix have been collecting dust. I had to finish them sometime. Yeah. But, no rush. I think today should be a relaxed day. A chill day. Like, I know these streams are usually chill, but today especially is just that much more aimless. Like, I'm working on these mineral pages now, but I could also be doing whatever I feel like. Now let's see. I'm just making sure that I'm working on the blank pages. These other pages are reserved for other entries that I've yet to document. And I think for now, I'll just cut these stickers out and place them on some more pages. And I will write their entries at a later date because I don't think that's, all too interesting. I mean, I will blab on about what I think they are and what their purposes are, but the actual writing part, I think, will be for another time. Borderlands fanbase can be split on Claptrap being endearing and being annoying. Playing 1-2 and the prequel tells me he's endearing because he wants friends. He wants to be helpful. But he is an irritating klutz. Love the little bumbling robot. Yeah, I can see that. It is a fine line, and oh goodness. Am I frozen again? I don't know why this keeps happening, to be quite honest, but oh well. I will just fix that momentarily. Should get back to writing again? Only if you have the muse for it, Oh dear, it keeps happening, didn't notice. Well, it's a good thing. That means I can just catch it early. Props words do, you either love the little menace or you hate him. That's true. In any case, maybe there's someone on Sanctus that I can talk about. I do have a little thing that I can do. Let's see. Who are we going to talk about today? Or not even just today, but for right now. Hopefully this works. Of course you're going to give me Dolly. Don't get me wrong, I love Dolly. She's adorable. She has done nothing wrong. But I think by now everyone knows who Dolly is, right? She's the adorable little toy fae who lives in Versailles. And if you don't know who she is, I do have a story written about her. Well, not about her per se, but she is involved with a story called The Hunter's Tale, if you're interested in seeing what she's all about. But yeah, she's just an adorable little fae, very child-minded. And she can, like, pull all sorts of toys out of her hat. I suppose you could say that she's also Sanctus's version of Santa Claus, as she is the one who goes around and gives toys during the winter holidays. A volume control on Claptrap is very funny, though. Let's roll again. Or does someone else want to go ahead and type in the Sanctus Cara command? See what we get. Because that command is not just for me. It's for anyone who just wants to get a random Sanctus character. Mackenzie Varence, the Survivor actress. Well, she's topical. Because it is her story that I am currently documenting. And I have a little picture of her. Right, where is she? I just had her. I swear I keep misplacing things. I hope the Borbs aren't also stealing my stickers, but here she is. Here's Mackenzie Varence. She is called a survivor because She is part of a subset of humans that have survived the ordeal that is being isekai'd to Sanctus via the Stardust Inn in Bogtown. Essentially, she got, magically transported to Sanctus into a survival horror scenario. And she is one of the lucky humans that managed to escape that to go on to travel to much more safer places of Sanctus. And, of course, as stated, she is an actress. She's been in a number of movies. And yes, there are theaters, there are places where she can, hand her copies of her movie out and allow people to watch, and people know her from those. And I would say that, generally speaking, makeup is her comfort item. Like, she puts that on to, feel normal, feel safe, in a sense. And I was going to grab scissors. But yes, if anyone would like me to just talk about any notable characters in Sanctus, they are free to just go ahead and use the Sanctus Cara command. And I will be more than happy to ramble off the top of my head what I recall about them. I like how these two are just kind of vaguely in the void, whereas I put all the other crystals in an environment. Sanctus Kara does pick randomly, yeah. I have, like, made a whole list of all the Sanctus characters that I believe I would have notable information about. Oh, that one's a deep cut. Cake Man, the Fantastical Baker. Oh, goodness. See, this is why I like this command, because literally no one would ever ask for information about him, because he's not in the comics, and I haven't drawn him in so long. I don't think I've drawn him since I made that one, like, attempt at a visual novel. And that was a long time ago, but so this is where I'm kind of breaking the fourth wall here a little bit. So Cake Man. So he's an object head. He's an object-headed fae, essentially. That's so far where he is in terms of where his place is in Sanctus. But, like, hold on, let me actually... I'm gonna make a quick doodle of Cake Man. Because, goodness. Let me just put this away really quick. Oh. Maybe at some point I should have a marker drop counter, but I don't think I do it that often. Anyways, Cake Man. Let's see. Let me just make sure. I'm good. I just sometimes knock markers off the table and they go clunk. Nothing's broken. I'm just clumsy. But yeah, Cake Man. So basically, Cake Man, in his, like, original design, was he would have, like, this sort of frosting border, kind of like this, and then he'd just have, like, a baker's outfit on. And he'd run, like, a little, like, pastry shop and whatnot. And he's just really good at making baked goods. And then the quirky little thing about Cake Man is that if you asked him for a slice of cake that he happens to be wearing for a head that day, he would actually slice a slice of cake for you. I don't know. I just thought it was, like, a really, like, funny concept to me at the time of creating him. But in terms of where he is in the world of Sanctus right now, like, one, first of all, he is going to be a fae. That's just going to be a thing. He's a fae. But I am torn between him being actually out in the world and having, like, his own little standalone bakery that, like, Maybe it only appears at certain times of day. Ooh. Maybe... I want to say from like 3 a.m. to sunrise is where his like bakery just magically appears. Like, and then you can just walk in and just buy some like really magical baked goods. Like, they will either have magical properties or they will just taste absolutely delicious. But he takes doubloons just like anywhere else. At least the Fey magic keeps the head. Yeah. Could have a bakery stand. Oh, from going bad, yeah. Or a bakery cart. 1 clunk per stream. Bayrox, you hush. Just a ceremonial clunk. Just to be, oh, we can't end the stream without our clunk. That's a neat concept. I think so. Like, he's just another character that I haven't used in so long, and I do love his concept and such. I'm thinking he would be a standalone because, like, someone who's not inside the Fey City. Because the Fey in the Fey City also have more clownish garb to them. And also, due to current Fey politics, I don't think, I'm not sure if he'd want to stay. He seems far too nice for that. And is it frozen again? Dressed more like entertainers? So... here's the thing about Fey in general in Sanctus. Fey magic mostly subsists of emotional energy, whether it be an overabundance of happiness, sadness, fear, you know, just an overabundance of emotion. Or if they're really horrible, they will just take emotion even where there isn't an overabundance, but that would leave someone feeling just kind of numb for a while. But that's the thing though, emotion never is completely gone. It just takes a while to refill. But yeah, generally speaking, Fey tend to subsist off of joy. That is what they choose to harvest for their magic. So in harvesting joy, they are usually like, yeah, like entertainers, mostly like clowns and such. Because it's like, hey, we're goofy, we're happy, we're having fun. We want you to be having fun and be happy like us. That's most Fae. There are a few exceptions to this. One, of course, being Shade, the Nightmare Fae. He specifically, like, collects fear. Because that's his whole shtick. Must be a friendly guy? Depends who you ask. Alright, there we go. I just realized we went over the 2-hour mark, so what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna take a quick break, but fishing will remain open, all that good stream stuff. You can still, play with the commands and all that, just, no spamming. And yeah, I will return shortly. So have fun and be safe, guys. Alright, and I am back. Hope you all have been getting some good stretches in. Oh goodness, I really need to stretch my wings there. There we go. As I said, get some good stretches, stay hydrated. And hello, Alpha, welcome, and hello, welcome back, Alfie. You didn't miss much. I did finish coloring the goodness, where did I put them? Oh, they're this way, that's why. I did finish coloring the minerals that I started earlier. And I was doing a little bit of a fourth wall rant about Cake Man and where he is in Sanctus, because I put him in the random Sanctus character generator to yap about. Which that is a thing you can do. If you want me to yap about any character from Sanctus, but don't have anyone in particular that you have in mind, then you can do exclamation Sanctus Cara. That's CHARA. But yeah, so that's why there's a picture of a cake-headed fae right here. But in the meantime, I was thinking of giving myself a new base outfit. I wanted to stick with the sort of cottagecore pastel theme, but I wasn't quite sure if I wanted to go pink or blue, you know? Or maybe, maybe like pink and purple. That could also be a good one, actually. Ooh. It's a you. It's a me. You were setting me up for that, weren't you? With interdimensional nonsense, do you just get access to Earth media? Essentially, more or less. Sometimes it's a little spotty, you know, it's not perfect. But generally speaking, you know, once I have enough information about something, I can do a very probably guesstimated version of it. Which is why, while I do have a computer and streaming setup, it is not the best because I myself don't know too much about computers in the first place. But at the very least, it is good enough for my purposes. And you know, that's just what I'll have to work with. Pink and purple sounds fun? Yeah. So I think what I'll do is I'll outline the outfit in purple first, just to start us off, and then I'll figure out where the colors go from there. Ba-doo. Let's get all that sketching out of the way. Okay. Now that we have that out of the way, I think what I'll do first is mess around with the base colors and then worry about the outfit last, because I always do that. I'll go ahead and check to see what else the Magic 8 Ball will recommend. Oh, yeah, that's right. I don't need that there, because that's gonna be dark. I need this one, and where's my other one? Or actually, I'm not even sure if I'm gonna use that one, since I'm trying to keep a lighter tone. I think I'll go with this one. Ooh, we get Puro this time. Now that's fun. Because Puro is definitely one who has had a lot of spotlight in the comics so far. So here he is. This is Puro. He is a bat monster. So he's got bat ears and bat wing arms. And he's also got a little pointy tail. Basically, He's got a very charming, like, pseudo-vampire type demeanor. But he's also, like, very self-conscious. He wants to make friends. He wants so badly to make friends. And he can be a little bit dramatic when things aren't going his way. But at the end of the day, he really does wants everyone to have a good time. So yeah. Definitely recommend seeing him in The Wanderer's Tale. Who isn't? I mean, there's dramatic, and then there is oh woe is me, and Piero is oh woe is me. He thinks there's a spotlight on him and sad violins are playing in the background type of deal. Okay, I don't need this one. Or actually, do I? I might actually. Yeah. Well, let's just try a few things out. Okay, and then this one. Perfect. Oh, I think this is a pretty decent color palette so far. It was just mostly Harpy's base colors. Or my base colors, I should say. I just realized I forgot the tail. It's okay. I can fix that. There we go. Easy fix. While I'm figuring out where to put these pinks and purples that I want to put, I think I'll go ahead and see what one last character I can ramble about. Oh, whoops. It would help if I spelled it correctly. But in the meantime, I hope everyone in chat and everyone watching the VOD is doing well. That you're all taking care of yourselves and staying safe. Ooh, Mac. That's a good one. So, Piero is the manager at the Snapdragon Club, and while Mac is a waiter at the Snapdragon Club. He also works at the St. Flora Detective Agency as a forensics analyst. So basically, if there's any clues left at a crime scene, he's the one, like, looking at the evidence, seeing if there's anything microscopic that can be found that can help lead them to figuring out what happened and all that sort of thing. So he's very much used to being the very perceptive type. Even though usually he comes off as laid back, just chill. But it's because he's conserving his energy. He's mostly just sit back and see what his surroundings are like type of guy. But if prompted, or if he deems the situation calls for it, he'll go, yeah, this is what I'm seeing, and if something is off, I'll be sure to tell you. But he's also a big fluff ball. He's pretty sweet. One of his best friends, Oren Kingsley, could attest to that. Let's see. Maybe I'll just start with a light wash of vague purple everywhere and just see how it goes. Or I might not even need that. I think this purple as the details might actually work. With just a little bit of a hint in the shadows, actually. And then we can have this pale hibiscus in over here. Works, and then I can have the pinks over here. This is the light pink. Where did I put the sardonyx? Donix is kind of looking like an orangey pink a little bit. Not gonna lie. I mean, I guess it's not that bad. It's not quite speaking to me as much as I've hoped it would, but I mean, I'd wear that. I think this is the correct vibe, though. There we go. Gotta keep that in frame there. But I don't know. I think we are just about reaching the end of the stream for today, though. Like I said, this stream was pretty directionless, more of a hangout than anything else. I mean, sure, we did get a couple of cool little drawings done, but honestly, I think today was just more of a see where things go. And also just check in on you guys. See how you guys are doing. So, yeah. Doing okay, just EP. Thank you for it. Of course. Oh. And the music cut out, but you know, I think it's just as well since we're about to head out. None of the usual final words or anything, but I really do hope that everyone stays safe and takes care of themselves. Because more than anything else, I think it is important to, like, take care of the ones that we like in our lives, you know? I'll take care of my Borbs and I'll take care of Sanctus. And I hope you guys also take care of yours and you and yours. So yeah. I will hopefully be back on Tuesday with a lot more art and a lot more structure. But until then, you know, take care and yeah. Alright, see you later, guys. You have a good one too. Bye.